Hey there, welcome to the channel. Greetings from Samui. In this video, I just wanted to kind of go over a few ideas that I have for the channel moving forward. And one of those is actually going to be interviewing people. So I've done interviews previously before with different interesting people I've met over here in Thailand, retirees, expats, digital nomads, remote workers, all those groups. And I just got to thinking maybe I could start interviewing some more people. So if you're interested in being a featured guest on the channel, let me know in the comments. Would love to hear from you. Obviously, got a lot of subscribers on here from all over the world, and I'm looking to actually start doing interviews to learn from these people, and I think it would be really beneficial for my viewers as well. As a matter of fact, I was actually just eating lunch at one of my favorite restaurants over here called Drees, which is very close to Crystal Bay Beach. And every time I go in there, the owner sits down with me because I've helped him with some promotions for free before to just get more customers in the door. And they were having a lot of issues because the road was under construction for a long time, and that was really like preventing the business from growing, right? So then I came in, started promoting it a little bit, and now every time I come into the restaurant, he sits down with me and we have a interesting conversation. He's actually from the Netherlands, and he's been living in Samui a couple years, I think, basically retired, but then he does also have this restaurant with one of the most spectacular views you've seen on the entire island. It's basically overlooking Crystal Bay, which is, I would say, like, one of the best beaches here. And today he was actually telling me that he used to be a professional poker player, and he would travel all over the world playing poker professionally. So that's really interesting, and I would love to, learn more from this guy, just as an example. And I guess that's probably how he was able to retire relatively early and open this restaurant. Which is, it can't be cheap, right? It's got to be really expensive land. And then the restaurant itself used to be called the Big Rock Restaurant, I remember years ago. And then it went out of business because I think the service wasn't so great, I guess. And maybe it was poorly managed. And then also there wasn't really like parking area around the restaurant. So it was really hard to get access to it. But now finally they fixed the road, and now it's like one of the most beautiful roads on the entire island. Maybe I'll leave some video footage in here so you can check it out. But yeah, I mean, that's just an example, and I'm always looking for more people that have interesting stories, especially retirees, because that's kind of a new direction I would like to move with the channel. So, if you're retired anywhere, right, it doesn't necessarily have to be Thailand, just reach out to me. All my contact information is below. You can also check out my website, send me an email through there. And yeah, I'm just thinking this could be a new direction I could take with the channel, because I have a friend in Vietnam, actually, who I just recently interviewed. His name is Evan, and he's an expat, basically retired in Vietnam for a couple years with a wife and child. And he interviewed me on his channel when I was in Hanoi. He just sent me an email and said, hey, I'd love to interview you. Been a long-time subscriber, so let me know if you'd like to sit down for an interview. And of course I jumped at the opportunity. I said hell yes. And now his YouTube channel is up to, like, I don't know, 23,000 subscribers, and pretty much all he does is interview other expats and talk about cost of living in Vietnam, these sorts of topics, which I think can do really, really well. And that's a few of the things that I focus on my own channel. So yeah, and then I may also potentially interview my next door neighbor as well here at the property where I live in Samui. I've interviewed him before on the channel, like probably a year and a half ago now. Time really flies by here, especially here in Samui, in paradise. But I'm thinking about potentially interviewing him again as well, because he's a professor for like 2 or 3 different universities in Canada, and he's able to do that remotely from Samui. So if you can be a professor from Thailand, there's a lot of other things you can do as well, such as start an online business. For that, I would really recommend, like, before you leave your home country, you should have some sort of passive income or a job, like a remote job, something that you can do while you're over here. And savings. Savings is also super important, because that was one of the mistakes that I made when I left the US, is I only had about $1,500 to my name in the bank account. And that was it. I didn't have anything else, no investments, no real estate, rentals, any of that stuff. And I just said, screw it, let's do it. And I took off on a wing and a dream. And now I haven't returned to the States for 5 years. So, if I can do it, you can do it. There's really nothing preventing you other than yourself. Sometimes we are our own worst advocate. And it's just a matter of basically getting that plane ticket if you really want to live in Thailand and enjoy beautiful sunny weather pretty much every day for the most part, especially here in Samui. Tropical climate, beautiful beaches, friendly people, delicious food, the things that I talk about all the time in my videos. It's ultimately going to come down to just buying that plane ticket. And actually, right after I finish recording this and uploading it to YouTube, I'm probably going to buy 2 tickets to China. So it's happening today. I'm not putting it off any longer. We've got another 3 weeks before we're going to take off. And just like I was talking about with the owner of this restaurant today, he said, life is short. You might as well make the most of it. And if you want to go to China, it's relatively close to Thailand, right? It's only about a 4-hour flight from here. So there's really nothing. The only person holding me back is myself. And that's it. And I just got a payout from a client today. So I have the money to invest in the flights. So that's not an issue. And then I also stopped into Bangkok Airways earlier today, and I asked them if they had direct flights from here to Chengdu, which is one of the largest cities in China. I think the population is like 18 million people or something crazy like that. And they said basically the only way that you can fly direct is with a private chartered flight. And I didn't even see any options available on the Bangkok Airways website. Maybe I'll check again. But I would think that's prohibitively expensive. It's essentially, it'll be like a private jet, so you rent the entire plane. There's no way I can afford that. Absolutely not. Unless I found an investor or something, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So most likely I'm just going to fly out of Surat Thani. That's the way I normally do it. And then you can save like 40 to 50% on flights flying out of the mainland versus directly out of Samui International on the island. So this is something I often recommend to people that are looking to save a little bit of cash. Just fly into Surat, take the ferry over. It takes about 3.5 hours roughly. No big deal. And you can enjoy the scenery along the way, make a little adventure out of it, get into Samui. It's also a beautiful boat ride as well. And sometimes you can go during sunset. So you're just sitting on the boat, relaxing, watching the sun go down. It's pretty incredible. And yeah, as far as like the interviews are concerned and that sort of thing, like I say, just drop a comment below. Let me know if you would like to be a featured guest on the channel. I will probably charge something for that rather than doing it for free because, well, we can talk about it. I do have a decent number of subscribers and reach on the channel, but I'm happy to do it for free or, whatever your budget is. Just, we can discuss that later. And I have a free discovery call and then also consultation call as well. So the consultation calls are mostly for my coaching program and these sorts of things. And then the discovery call is just 15 minutes so we can get to know each other a little bit, have a conversation, see if you would be a good fit for the channel. And yeah, it's just something I'm kind of playing around with because, like I said in my other video, I'm probably not going to be generating the AI content anymore due to YouTube's new monetization policy updates. That's probably not a good idea moving forward because I obviously don't want to get demonetized on here. So I'm just trying to think of some other things that I can do that will keep the content interesting and fresh. And I keep coming back to interviews. In fact, I was supposed to interview a guy who also has a YouTube channel called Meds Travel. And I had a call scheduled with him last week, but he got really busy or something, and then we weren't able to do the interview, unfortunately. But he's got like a small channel, I think about 1,000 subscribers now. And he talks mostly about like leaving the US, enjoying lower cost of living. I think he's in Cambodia or maybe Taiwan. I'm not sure exactly. But I think he'd be a really interesting guest. And obviously I can just start reaching out to people on YouTube. It's easy to get the email addresses and just start sending out emails to people that I want to interview. What's the worst that could happen, right? They could say no, and that's no big deal. Then we just go our separate ways, right? So yeah, Neighbors are just getting home right now. Let me know if you'd like to be a featured guest on the channel, and with that being said, I think I'm just gonna go for a bike ride after this because the weather is beautiful today and I could use some exercise. Maybe hit the gym afterwards. So we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Stay safe. Signing off. Peace from Samui.